Hey everyone, I'm Rudy from Drinks and Movie Podcast, and today I'm going to be doing a blind tasting of 3 different products coming out of James B. Beam Distilling. All 3 of them have the High Rye mash bill. We've got Old Grandad Bottled and Bond, Old Grandad 114, in the new limited release Bakers High Rye 7-year-old single barrel. So if you guys know me, you know I'm a big fan of Beam. I love Old Grandad 114. It's one of my all-time favorites. So I was really stoked when I saw that they were releasing this Bakers that's coming in at 107 proof, limited release, 7 years old, minus 7 years and 6 months since these are single barrels. So I took it as essentially, you know, a more aged Old Grandad, not quite the proof of the 114, but you know, I figured it should be pretty good. Basil Hayden also follows the same mash bill, but I don't really care for that one since it's a lower proof, even though I guess it's a little older. It's just a little too light for me. So my favorite's definitely Old Grandad 114, but I broke the seal on this recently on a podcast episode, so I thought it'd be funny to blind them all and just kind of see where they fall. So here we go. I'll start with glass 1 here. Oh, that's really sweet and easy already on the nose. Just kind of quintessential bourbon. Definitely the caramel bond with a little bit of pepper from that rye. Definitely, you know, I get that sense, that like Jim Beam kind of note that they have. But overall, it's kind of, it's soft. It's a very soft nose on this one. So here we go. Let's go in for the taste. Yeah, that's good. That really lights up the tongue. It's definitely more on the spice end. You know, you get like some black pepper, maybe a little bit of cinnamon, and almost maybe like a nutmeg. And then you get that nice like caramel, like dark caramel on the back of the palate. Yeah, maybe coming out even a little more punchy and spice forward on the second sip. I thought maybe since I was acclimated to give into those sweet notes a little bit, but not so much that time around. But yeah, it's a good one. I like it. It's not, you know, blowing me away or anything, but it's good. That's definitely something that, you know, I'd make a cocktail out of for sure, or sip on a night, you know. Here we go, glass number 2. So the nose, very similar, obviously. This one has more of like, reminds me a little more of like a Knob Creek though. You know, like their kind of typical bourbon mash bill. Like I get a little more of that Beam like peanut note and maybe a little more sweetness on the nose. Just has kind of a sharper, sharper hit. It definitely reminds me more of like a Knob Creek. That's good. It's definitely lighter. It still has a similar spice punch. The palate is consistent with the nose in terms of getting that more like peanutty like Beam note. Yeah, funny, each time I feel like the spice, the kind of nutmeg and like clove and those typical kind of rice spice notes come out more on like the second sip. It's overpowering the sweetness, and I still get that like black pepperiness definitely on the finish here. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I dig them both. I'll have to go back and side by side them later. But yeah, here's glass number 3 now. This one's very muted on the nose. I can't really, I have to really like search. Obviously you can sense that it's from the same family as it is, but I can't really, it's tough to get anything out of this one. It's a lot more muted and mellow, so here we go. Funny, these are all coming across pretty similar. More similar than I would have thought. Like I would have thought the Bonded would be easy to tell just because of that lower proof point in comparison to the 107 and 114. Maybe it's because they're all just 7 points apart. You know, they're coming in pretty similar. This one has the same kind of spice punch. It's just as punchy and bold as the other two. Maybe less sweetness coming through. And maybe a little lighter. Like maybe this one is a lesser proof, but it doesn't seem that way. They all seem pretty consistent, to be honest. Like I think the spice is taking it further than the actual like alcohol and proof, if that makes sense, you know? They're giving me kind of a similar experience, but this one doesn't have, at least on the first sip, as much depth in terms of like flavor, depth of flavor. Yeah, whereas the other two came in even punchier the second time around. That one actually mellowed out even more. Yeah, so that's probably in third place for me. Let me go back and hit these other two again. These ones, I'm not sure what I would put ahead of the others, so we'll say they're in the same spot. So we're gonna go back to the second glass. Yeah, nose is still pretty consistent. Yeah, that was consistent with the first time around too. You know, like it didn't really change that much, like going from another one back into that. Kind of stayed the same. I like it. I wish they, and I did this Old Grandad 114 is newer. I broke the seal on it and gave it maybe 5 to 8 minutes for it to open up before I poured the other ones. So I wonder if maybe it's that one and it's just not like, you know, giving me the flavors I'm used to right now because it needs a little more airtime. But yeah, it's good. Not knocking my socks off though. Glass 1, by the way. Yeah, I think Glass 1 is actually my favorite still. Man, it actually mellowed out in a nice way. I'm still getting that nice, like, kind of smooth caramel on the back end of the palate and on the finish. Still a lot of spice on the front and mid palate. And it has a nice finish going down. It's still nice and warm. Yeah, that one probably has the most to offer. I think it stayed pretty consistent with that first sip. And yeah, I think it has a little more depth of flavor, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to put that one in first place. We got, well, I guess in the order, 1, 2, 3 glasses, or the placement I have them in. So let's start with the third one. I'm going to guess when I got into that second sip, because it seemed a little on the lighter side as it went on and didn't have as much flavor, that it's going to be Old Granddad Bonded. So let's take a look. Holy shit. So that was the Bakers. The Bakers $70, 7-year, 6 months for mine, limited release, 107 proof. I put it in third place. I didn't quite see that one coming. I thought it would stand up. All right. So Glass 2 then, second place. That one is regular Old Granddad Bonded. You can find these for like $20, I think it is. I don't really sip on it that much. Every once in a while, I'll hit it, but it's more of you know, old-fashioned kind of one for me to have. 114 was like a nightly sipper for me. I just was kind of taking a break from it for a while, so I just opened this one for this. But yeah, so Old Granddad 114, and it makes sense. That's always been like one of my favorites. Like $29.99 at most places, $32 maybe, 30, 35 at most. I feel like it's a sleeper hit. Not a lot of people talk about it. I absolutely love it. I have like backups upon backups of this bottle, this being one of them. Yeah, I mean, 114 proof Old Granddad Bakers High Rye mash bill. I think it's pretty young, maybe like 4 to 6 years old, I think it is. But it's a banger. I mean, yeah, damn. I was kind of thinking it'd be that second one maybe, but yeah. Anyway, that's a wrap on this one, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment. Let me know which one of these is your favorite if you had a chance to try them all. And if not, yeah, give them a shot. I still think this one, you know, on its own probably fares a little bit better. Old Granddad 114, for me, just can't go wrong with it. Anyway, that's a wrap. Cheers.